so in this video we're going to look at 5 things that you probably didn't know about the new Xbox, also known or better known as Project Scarlett, that was revealed by Microsoft at this year's E3 press conference. Now, as far as hardware goes, we already have a good idea what the Project Scarlett is going to perform like. I actually made an in-depth video covering pretty much everything you need to know about the new Xbox in terms of hardware, and there's a link to that video down below. Anyway, I will be covering the launch of Scarlett on this channel. We're going to do teardowns, analysis, and I'm going to keep you guys up to date with the latest news all the way up until then, so you definitely want to stick around. With that said, yeah, let's get started. So number 1, Project Scarlett will not have any loading screens, and this is not just something that we gamers will enjoy, but the game developers will take advantage of this, and they seem very keen about this new hardware upgrades as well. Gaming Bald had an interview with Michael Karusanen at Remedy Entertainment, and this is what he had to say about it. While having an SSD is fantastic because it deals with a lot of streaming issues that games tend to have. I am with everybody else, I hate those slow moving elevators where you need to wait until the new part of the world loads up, or awkward tunnels that you have to walk through, and getting rid of that is good news for everybody. And of course, we all love new powerful hardware. It allows us to do creative, striking visual things and so on, especially because we as a studio strive for really high fidelity. We're down for technical and visual achievements as well, so I think that's good news. And just to clarify things, guys, Scarlett will be using an M2 NVMe storage that most likely will operate through the PCIe protocol, giving us rapid fast reads and write speeds. Moving on to number 2, probably the most asked questions of all time, or questions I should say. I feel like we need to cover this. When is it coming out and what is it going to cost? So in case you're not filled in yet, I'm gonna go over this as quickly as possible, as I know some of you guys already know this. So it's coming out in holiday 2020. In terms of pricing, we aren't 100% sure yet, as Microsoft hasn't revealed price for it yet, but according to various rumors, while the original Xbox launched at $299 in 2001 and the Xbox 360 hitting the shelves at $399, adjusted for inflation, these numbers can scale up to $399 and $499 respectively, and so it is reasonable to believe that Project Scarlett will retail for about $499 or perhaps $549 or even $599. Now, at first, Microsoft actually had 2 models planned here that would sort of live along each other, just like the S and the X model. So we got 2 models here. We don't know if they exist or not, but anyway, we got codename Anaconda, which would have been the successor to the Xbox One X, and the slightly slower model, think Xbox One S here. This was known as codename Lockhart, and this one was rumored to retail for $249 US. Now here's the tricky part. More recent news suggests that Microsoft is scrapping this idea and simply just focusing down on one single console rather than 2, which was their initial idea. Now, I don't really know the reason for this, but my best guess is that xCloud, that is Microsoft's upcoming streaming service launching this October, is going to act as their sort of entry to Xbox gaming, and Project Scarlett would be more like the high fidelity options here if you want a bit more out of your experience, so to speak, in terms of graphics. And obviously older Xbox consoles will support games coming for Scarlett also. Again, think of this like a PC experience, and so let's just make up an example here. So let's just say you got the Xbox Scarlett and I'm sitting on the Xbox One S. Although we're gonna be able to play with each other, your game will look better than mine, if that makes sense. I won't be getting into details how xCloud works, but the main competitors to xCloud are going to be Google Stadia and PlayStation Now, and so basically this is a game streaming service that works on basically all your devices. Now, we aren't 100% sure that Microsoft is not going to make more than one console, and so you need to take this with a grain of salt, as this hasn't been confirmed by Microsoft. So yeah, I guess future will tell. Anyway, I would love to know, guys, would you mind if Microsoft only went with just one console for next generation, or should they make several consoles? Let me know in the comments below. Number 3, Scarlett will be backward compatible, and not just all the games will work on the new Xbox, but pretty much every accessory ever released on Xbox One will work flawlessly on the new Xbox as well. Should be added though that I don't know about Kinect. Let me know in the comments below if you still even remember that. And Microsoft actually did a dedicated video addressing this. Now that we know that the new Xbox will be backward compatible, we we don't really have to think much about compatibility when picking up a new mouse, a new keyboard, or a new headset, or a new game for that matter, since we know that it will play just fine. And since Xbox One and PS4 officially moved over to the x86 platform, porting games nowadays is not that complicated as it once was in the past. Number 4, Project Scarlett can read discs and you will be able to watch Ultra Blu-rays on it. So many of us first thought that 2020 consoles were going to drop support for discs, but it turns out we're going to see the spinning discs live on for at least a few more years. At an interview with Game Industry, Spencer said the following: "Yeah, physical discs are a part of our future. We know because we see it, and more players are buying digital. We think the experience in certain instances, specifically if I'm away on my console and everything is on my hard drive with the entitlements are all there are some scenarios that are easy, but we know that people still have discs. So even when we put out things like the Xbox One S all digital edition, we are very clear with the name because I am not trying to confuse anybody that if you are somebody that has a library of discs or that's the way you want to acquire the content, then you should buy the Xbox One S and not the Xbox One S all digital. I want to be very descriptive because I'm not trying to confuse anybody what the options are, and I want to give people choice, and so right now physical is a choice that millions of people love." And number 5, Scarlett will, when it launches, according to Microsoft at least, be the most powerful console.
I think it will absolutely be the most powerful immersive console on the market.
We know from earlier hardware rumors that Scarlett will be slightly faster than PlayStation. As always, we know that hardware isn't everything. I mean, just look at the exclusivities on PlayStation, for example. In my definition at least, PlayStation is the better console. Anyway, to give you guys some numbers or a ballpark, here's what to expect of Scarlett in terms of power. So Scarlett will be about 4 times the power of Xbox One. We're looking at quote unquote up to 120 frames per second in games, and so this will be the biggest hardware jump we've seen to this date. Ray tracing will be supported, and we know that AMD is gonna be powering the Scarlett. Most likely we're talking about Zen 2 or Zen 2 Plus, as well as second generation Navi, also referred to Navi 7nm Plus. Furthermore, we are getting SSD storage, we talked about this, NVMe flash-based storage. Now, at an interview on Windows Central, Jason Rowland, director of PM at Microsoft, said the following: "As we look at across the entire design of the system, everything from the SoC to the memory that we have, it's really about eliminating all those bottlenecks so those game developers can really deliver on their visions, to try and enable game developers to make the best possible visions of their game." And in the very same interview, the Xbox boss Mike Ybarra said the following: "I will say that we are very confident in what we're building, something that will set a new bar for expectations of gaming consoles." Now anyway guys, I made a full in-depth video covering the hardware, you know, the core count, the core frequencies. I'll link the video up down below if you want to go and dive deeper. And yeah, there has been a lot of speculations around the upcoming Halo game as well. A lot of stuff that we still don't really know about. Something that we do know, however, is that Halo Infinite will be one of the launch titles for Xbox Scarlett when it's dropping in holiday 2020. Now, on this channel we're gonna have a launch party when the next gen consoles drop. I will be doing teardowns and analysis, and I will keep you guys up to date with the latest news up until then. Anyway, I am excited to hear what you guys think about this. Please let me know your thoughts. I mean, what upcoming games are you most excited for? I'm very excited to jump back into Halo again. Now again, I made a whole video covering pretty much everything you need to know in terms of pricing, hardware, etc. And the video can be found down below. I'm gonna be back with a brand new video in just a few days time. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until then, have an awesome day, alright?